Right. Hello, everyone. That's loud on that meter. Okay. So welcome to another video. I have co-host Mr. You know who you are.
Hello.
Yes, this is him, and today we're talking about Blockade Tower Defense. We're gonna go over some developments and like ideas and updates, and obviously, this video didn't even need to be edited either, so that's nice. Okay, so oh yeah, I just realised this is a podcast. You can put this on your phone while you do stuff if you want. That's very cool. What do you think of that, Cal?
Yeah, that is actually pretty cool.
I do that. So, anyway, so you know what Blockade Tower Defense is, Cal, but I think the viewers have like no insight into it. I know some of the people in the Discord server don't know what the fuck's happening with it. Blockade Tower Defense is the tower defense game, obviously. It's like TDS, but if it wasn't bad, I don't know necessarily. There's just too much content in TDS now, and if that seems stupid, it is.
Yeah, if it
There's
had
too much low
actually got
quality
more.
content. There's too much low quality content in it. That's what I should say. So
Yeah, I can
I
agree with
play,
that.
I played a lot of tower defense games on this channel, and I've played a lot of them since like 2021. I think I played the Frost event. I have proof as well. Well, mostly. I don't know if it's really proof anymore because you can just buy the Sledger Game Pass now. But I do have some stuff from it, so that's a note. So this game is going to try and make tower defense games fun again, because most of them are the exact same. Have a look at blocks of tower defense in every retro style tower defense game. Have a look at TDS in every tower defense game. I don't know. So I should probably give you a rundown of all of the stuff that I'm planning for the game at the moment. Here's the towers. You get to go and I'm gonna have a look on Discord because I already put it in the Discord server. So, some of the very cool towers in the game will be very cool towers. Actually, no, this isn't complete. This isn't a complete list. No, it is. But I'll just include some of the more stuff that's gonna be in the December beta that I'm releasing hopefully next month. I don't know. It's gonna require a lot of crunch time. You have the Radioist. It's a tower that uses a radio to get to more troops on the battlefield. So you can have troops on the battlefield. Obviously, this is pretty helpful. You can upgrade them as well. More like
We could
better.
also add it so it buffs.
Yeah, we could just copy TDS. That is a good idea, actually. But make unique buffs so it isn't stealing, and instead it's stealing but half. More HP. I'm pretty sure I was thinking at the time. It's only like 2 days ago. So more HP would just be more base HP, really. Better ammos. Better ammos is just like ammo that does more damage or something, or has better range or fire rate. So, for example, that would be like armor piercing ammo for towers that don't have it. Or care packages, which is just, I don't even know, just random, I guess. So you can get stuff that just helps certain towers, or more money, or whatever. But that'll scale with upgrades. So if you have a badly upgraded radioist, then you will get nothing. But if you have a maxed out radioist, you'll get more from the radioist stuff. He also is a burst tower, so he uses burst weapons, which is very unique. I've never seen a game that does that the first time, apart from TDS, except that's Soldier, so that isn't counting. The Trooper is the next tower, and this tower uses a pistol. It's a fast tower. It shoots relatively fast. So, for example, in TDS, I'm pretty sure the fire rate for the Scout is 1 second or so. That's bad, because it's a pistol. It does not fire out slowly. So instead, our man will fire every 0.55 seconds. He does solid damage. I should probably mention the damaging system. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. Instead of having your average TDS thing where you go, oh, this guy is 4 HP. Instead, you have 100 HP for the normal guys. And then we just add on armor, unless they actually have a reason to have more HP. Like being larger or something. So that's how it will work. Most of the towers will have 100 HP. Stronger towers The stronger enemies will either be like larger because of HP, or they'll have a reason to have more HP, because usually they'll just be more armor. Armor will be like just more health, but there will be a bit more resistant. This man at the start will do around 70 damage each shot, so that's actually solid. That's around 135, 130 DPS as far as I'm concerned, with the 0.55 fire rate. The range will be alright. Oh yeah, this is strange, but since the game will use bullets, not in the beta obviously, whenever we come around to it, so expect this in some future updates, probably 2026. There will be a new system introduced called bullet speed, and instead of using just hit scan, I'll use actual bullets. So the bullet speed will just make it so the enemies get hit quicker. That's it. But it will be helpful for stuff like the Mecha. Oh yeah, the trooper can also dual wield and use double shot. Double shot as in one pistol can shoot 2 bullets instead of 1. So that's very cool. What do you think of that, Cal?
Yeah, it's actually pretty good thing to do. Yeah.
Yes. I should probably mention something else. This is extremely important. This is one of the parts that makes Blockade Tower Defense Boy unique, in opinion. So, what I want to do is make it so every tower has a base weapon, right?
Yeah.
But they can actually buy different weapons that have different upgrade paths for each one. What I'm hoping for each tower is, when I do eventually introduce the 4-path system, I should talk about that more. There'll be 4 paths in the game. So, when I do introduce that, you'll have 3 paths which are for the weapon itself or other stuff, and then the 4th one, the final path, will be always dedicated to the tower itself, the person who is the tower. If that makes sense, that obviously makes sense.
Yeah.
And so that will not change if you change your weapon, but the first 3 paths will change if you change your weapon. This is helpful. For example, the trooper can use a Colt Python, a revolver, and then he can switch to a Glock or an M911. The 1911. Oh my god. The radioist can just use different burst weapons and stuff. That makes perfect sense. Another thing with the trooper, I might just make it so you can get armor from as well, just to make him that bit better. Radioist will not have armor. It'll be one of the most vulnerable things. Armor is basically just this game's HP system, but your towers cannot die. They can get stunned, but when they get stunned, you pay life insurance. It's a small tax of your money, but it's still annoying enough to affect the game, but not too much to actually ruin it. It just, you have to pay money if your tower gets stunned. But if a lot of towers get stunned, you get discounts on it. Just to add that little bit of...
Yeah, you get life insurance in the game now.
So yeah,
Cool.
there's more strategy to the game, if that makes sense. Next one is very unique, but it is based off a game. Mercenary. So this tower is not from Heroism Tower Defense. So if I see anyone saying, oh my god, is that a Heroism Tower Defense tower? In the fucking comments, I'm going to lose my ass. Mercenary is a tower that costs money each 5 waves, so you have to pay. It's not decided yet, I'll probably do like 100 quid. But it makes you a lot of money. It makes like much more money from enemies than it does other towers. So, the first weapon it uses is a rifle. But it can use other weapons. So, you know how I brought up the weapon system earlier?
Yeah.
So the tower can only use weapons related to the weapon they're already using, except the mercenary, which is very versatile because of this. It can use a rifle and other weapons, such as a shotgun, RPG if you're mental, but you do have to pay a lot of money to get it, and refill the ammo on it. And you get to use a pistol as well. The problem is, the pistol's not going to be as good as the trooper, but it will exist. It'll be very helpful for if you need a pistol. You won't, but you can use it anyway. It can also use special abilities like drones. You can upgrade these. Ghost mode, so it cannot get stunned ever. It can also ambush enemies, which is very fun. And the X3R jammer, which basically just jams the enemies' radios. So if they're like, if certain enemies are about to die, they can call radios for more backup. They can't do that anymore, and they also have to walk slower. Every enemy does. I should also add on here, I didn't add this on the Discord server updates. So the mercenary will also be able to melee enemies, which is probably why we'll have very much melee guys in the game because of this. It can melee them with a knife, which will usually one-shot most enemies. It can do armor piercing, but not loads of it. It can do like 40, like around 100 armor. For reference, the armored enemies in the game usually have about like 75. So it will one-tap quite a lot of enemies, depending on your mode. But it won't be incredible. It does stun them though, so that's helpful. But it only like melees every like so often, about 45 seconds probably. This is tower. I also, can you have any ideas for the towers I've already mentioned?
I do have an idea, but it was like for the weapon system.
Yeah, go on.
We could make it so like it's a certain combo. If you have a certain weapon with a certain character, the character gets a certain buff and that.
Well, the weapon system is like the gun ducks. I hope you listen, but so like the pistol guy can only use pistols. So what do you mean? Like if they use like a certain weapon, they get buffs, and then other weapons give them other certain buffs. Can we do that? Do you think that's a good idea?
Yeah.
Yeah. We could do that, to be fair. So, yeah. Next is the Brutalist. This is not actually a minigunner. It uses an M109. I'm actually going to check if that's real. I swear, if it's real, I'm actually going to... It's a tank! It's a tank! I need to find that. The M109 is a tank. Okay, I need to find a new one. LMG, yeah, but I want, like, the name of one. M1... Okay, the M134. M144, I need to write that in. M134. So the M134 is what the Brutalist uses as a machine gun, a light machine gun, but still. So he uses it to fire quickly, like solidly quickly, like 0.19 fire rate at the start, to fire armor-piercing bullets. It does a lot of damage as well to enemies. It does have a lot of ammo in it, so it has like 50 at the start, 50 ammo. Wait, no, I'm going to take it. So it shoots every 0.35 seconds at level 1, and it does armor-piercing bullets that do like 450 damage, and armor-piercing goes through most armor. Then it takes like 7 seconds to reload it. All levels, it's very slow. And it's very costly. And if it gets... So most towers will get stunned for like 5 seconds. Brutalist will get stunned for 10. Also, you can only place like 4 of them. And you cannot place them on the cliffs. Because you can place every tower on the cliff if you spend more money to get like special boots for them. For some reason. You can do the same with sniper towers as well. So, yeah, the Brutalist is mental.
Yeah.
But you cannot place it anywhere else. You can only place on the ground. You can only place 4 of them, and they get affected badly by stuns. They take ages to reload, and it takes a lot of money to upgrade. But it is a really good tower, especially if you upgrade it a lot. It gets a lot better. The Power Washer. This is the most unique one in the game, as far as I'm concerned. So it uses a Power Washer. It doesn't do loads of damage, but it does damage very quickly. It has okay range, very unique upgrades. It can do a lot of status effects as well. The problem is, well, when the water depletes, it takes a bit to get more water. And depending on how much water you're using, because you can set it, so you can make it so it uses less pressure on the water, which makes it use less water. But, problem is, it's not as effective. Also, another problem with it is that it's fine with like stuns and stuff, but the biggest issue is there's no armor for the guy. Because for most like towers, you can get armor that at the very least stops their stuns from lasting so long. Power Washer is completely armorless, so you will always get stunned for the amount of time. You can also not withstand like bad attacks from enemies. Certain attacks from enemies will stun you for longer. Lastly, in the beta, well, no, I'll say some other ones first. This is just like a treat for people who played the December beta. Intimidator. This guy wears heavy armor, so a mech. Uses vehicles and swords so he can like ram enemies with a lot of damage. And swords that are absolutely cracked. It can use a sniper to tear through enemies, and is good with melee too. Does this sound overpowered to you?
It's a bit of power, but you could also just make it so it slowly gets better each upgrade.
Yeah, no, it's already way too good compared to every other tower, which is a power creep situation, except I have something good. It requires batteries, which are very... The batteries are expensive to recharge and purchase. You have to replace them every 3 times as well, which costs you a lot of money. It's also really slow because of the mech, and also the fact that the attacks are really annoying. So it's really slow, and the range is air. It also has to walk over to the enemies as well. In the back, it's really expensive, but it is the best tower in the game, if you think about it. But due to its amount of downsides, it's not as good. So it has some solid balancing out by making it absolutely terrible for certain enemies, but really good for like bosses and harder modes. And also you can't use it on anything under the normal mode, so that's fun. You've got a map list, so I'll go through that in a bit. But did I say anything else yet? No, I didn't. Okay, so I'm going to make some up the spot now as well. Okay, so the other tower I want to mention is extremely cool. It's called the Builder. No, this is not a reference to Dragon Quest Builders, believe it or not, even though I like that game. So the Builder is basically the guy from BTD5, the monkey guy who built stuff. That's literally him. So what I'm planning for him is he can build traps, but he does more than the engineer monkey. You can build saw traps, you can build traps that like catch the enemies and just let them get shot. You can get stuff that flings them across the course but then bounces them back. Basically just doing a lot of damage and stunning. It's very random. You can build like turrets and stuff. It's
basically an engineer but with steroids.
Yes, and the best part of it all is instead of using a measly little gun, it actually uses a bloody turret to shoot. It's not OP, but it does stun with electricity, so it is actually decent. You can also build like minigun turrets and stuff. The thing balancing out is it's really expensive to do all of this, and it's also kind of slow at doing it. But the automatic turrets and like barbed wire fences and stuff, I'll put it on the Discord server. I'll link it in the description. Have a join. All of that is yeah, it's crazy. Do you want a map list? Of course you do, and I know you do as well, Carl. Okay, so first of all is Sunfall Castle. I'll give a lore explanation in a minute. A castle which is built and run by the kingdom of Sunfall, pretty royal. It's your average castle map. Except there's guys with cannons. There's guys with cannons shooting at the enemies for you. And you can actually upgrade them as well, if you want. This is a pretty fun map to work with, because you already have some solid towers to help you. I decided to make it so it doesn't, like... It's not super OP. The cannons are very slow, so it can't just carry you, but it does help you. 2... Neo HQ.
Makes sense.
The HQ for the army of Neo, aka the military for the dummies. You play for the dummies. I should mention that next. This is just your average map, except when they go into HQ, you can still fire them. And there's some turrets in there, but they get disabled pretty quickly. They only have like so many ammo. Third is the dummy barracks. The barracks for the dummies in an area undisclosed to the public. This is pretty easy to defend. Well, it's a short map, but the enemies walk slower on it, so it's not as bad. Also, since it's barracks, you have turrets, and sometimes enemies will come out and help. Nope, not enemies. The dummies will come out and help. So that's very helpful. The Oasis Dunes. An abandoned mine shaft atop a beautiful oasis, basically full of water. You can... Well, since the enemies will ragdoll, if they fall into the oasis, you'll get a badge that just says... Haha, watered or something like that. And it'll just give you nothing. And it's in the desert, so that's pretty fun. Player's house. This is referring to so player not found. You know who he is. This is very obvious. It's a house. Now you can walk on the path, and you can actually go through the television, and it teleports you from the phone onto the next path. So I'll wait. So let me just wait. No, I'm not going to show it. So what this tower does? What does map does? What does maps does? Yes, Cal.
Yeah.
You can go through the television, and it'll teleport you from the TV into the phone, and the enemies will jump out, and you'll skip some of the track. So we'll make the track longer, but it'll make it more unique. I'll show like screenshots in a future video. And then they can go into the fireplace. The fireplace teleports them onto the nuke button. The nuke button's like the base. And if you fall onto it too much, the entire map blows up. That is the entire map. That is the entire map. I'm not kidding. Please don't think I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know you're not joking. I know that for a fact.
Right. Next. Also, I'm going to start in like 5 minutes, don't worry. Next is the Mecha Bistro. This is the final map. This is heavily inspired by the Restaurant Tycoon 3 series in the intro for the latest one. But it will be more built out than the stupid restaurant I've been doing in the series. Also, next video, never. I just can't be bothered. This will be an actually good, like, bistro map you can go through. And it's a very fun map to play. There'll be numerous sections to it. So it'll be like, it'll probably just be like an enlarged map where you're on the counters. And you have to fend them off from the counters. And if they jump into the frying oil, then it taints it and it just poisons everyone in the restaurant for no reason. That is the entire thing at the map. And finally, I should give some little notes. So, to do with badges, are going to be your average tower defense badges. You can already guess. Oh, I forgot another map. Peril Sands is Peril Sands. Peril Sands. It's a map. It's a beach map, but the water can actually stun or even remove your towers from the maps when the tide comes in. It also blocks tower placement for a bit in that where the water is, but it does wipe out enemies, which is very helpful. Depending on
you don't put it in the way of time.
Depending on how far. Also, yeah, the sand will change color when it's like in an area where the tide can go. The maximum area where the tide can go, which means that so basically, oh my god, what am I doing with my life? So on Peril Sands, yeah, there'll be like different coloured sand. So the sand, when it gets to the max point where the water can go, it'll change the colour. So just place your towers in there unless you're prepared to lose them. There's also a market guide that you can buy special traps and temporary towers exclusive to the map. Temporary towers as in you can't unlock them forever, but they will stay for the rest of the match. And the best towers for this map are flying towers or towers that can move around so they don't get knocked out. Alright, that's it. Cal, do you have any last words before they go?
Just that we will be adding some extra things that we won't be saying because it'll be too much spoilers.
Secret. I don't really care about the spoilers. I just don't know when it'll get added to the game, so people have to wait for ages. Alright. Bye!